To a call, the member for Fairfax.
That's right. Thank you, Mr Deputy Speaker. And I found that last honourable member's address to this House bordering on funny, Mr Deputy Speaker, because here we had the member for Bendigo complaining about a program that's delivered for Bendigo. That doesn't make a lot of sense. The chief complaint that we've heard from members opposite, reflected in that last speaker, is an awful thing has happened. An awful thing. A crime almost, Mr Deputy Speaker. You know what it is? The change of a name. The change of a name of a program. That's the only criticism that the member could lay on this government. Such a shallow rebuttal and complaint of a program that clearly for her own electorate, as she started to list off the programs, has indeed delivered for Bendigo. Now, the second and last complaint after a change of name was how challenging it is for governments to compare projects of different size and of different nature. And again, this just goes to the shallowness and the ineptitude and incompetence of the members opposite, Mr Deputy Speaker, because anybody who's spent so much as 1 or 2 days in business knows that's exactly what you need to do. And it takes a degree of competence, but competence is something this government has in spades. And that is why we took to the 2013 election the commitment for the National Stronger Regions Fund, Mr Deputy Speaker. A program that ultimately aims to drive economic development and boost productivity and stimulate innovation by encouraging investment at the local community level. You see, the coalition understands, unlike the people opposite, Mr Deputy Speaker, that the economy is not an end unto itself. It's in fact the means by which you can enable local communities to take control of their own destiny. It's the means by which vital infrastructure and services are provided to Australian citizens. And it's that understanding of the power of economic development that underpins the National Stronger Regions Fund. The scope of the benefits have been very clear, and it's all been about economic advantage long beyond the construction phase. And it's been something that is focused very much on the regions. A few statistics, if I may, Mr Deputy Speaker. Total investment, $632 million over 3 rounds. Round 1, 212. Round 2, 293. Round 3, $126 million. Now, I know this motion deals with Victoria, specifically, and I have to say Victoria has done so well, and indeed the former member, actually the Labor Party member, mentioned the tennis centre, $2 million. Thank you very much to the coalition government. Almost $3.5 million for Destination Queenscliff in Victoria. But with no disrespect for the members for Victoria, even on this side, there is one place more important, and that, of course, is the state of Queensland, Mr Deputy Speaker. Now, I'm delighted, as the member for Fairfax, to see a very important project become the recipient of the National Stronger Regions Fund in my patch of the world, and that, of course, was for the Nambour Heritage Tramway. The town of Nambour lies in the hinterland of the Sunshine Coast, and it remains the capital of the hinterland in that important, vital region of Australia. But of course, about a dozen years ago, just over a decade, we had the Moreton Sugar Mill close, and that town has gone through a serious challenge with almost $70 million ripped out of its economy. The idea of this tramway, which is to use former Cane train tracks, is part of a broader reactivation plan for the town of Nambour, Mr Deputy Speaker. And here we have a local community, a Nambour Alliance, working so tightly and strongly with a very good local councillor, putting together a reactivation plan for Nambour as a town. And this is where the National Stronger Regions Fund has come in, and it will be delivering $500,000 to help that tramway get off the ground. $500,000 to help reboost and reactivate the vital, important town of Nambour. I congratulate the Coalition Government for it.
The question is that the motion be agreed